Welcome back to Squared Circle Speak, the best pro wrestling YouTube channel in the world, according to me. I am Ryan. With me, as always, is my co host Nathan. And today, we're getting extreme. We're going to get hardcore.
You
It's
smoked a pack of cigarettes before that?
It's time for another retro review, and we're going back to 1999, September 19th, 1999 to be exact, and we are doing ECW Anarchy Rulz. This is the first ECW event we have done in a retro review, and we talked about Balls Mahoney last week on our Wrestler Spotlight, and so we decided to watch the show that was probably his greatest match of all time, which is the main event of this show. But before that, we have a lot of weird and just off the wall kind of matches that happen on this show. This was ECW at its peak, where it was just real no direction on some of
well,
these matches.
well, the thing is, they just got direction because this was the first pay-per-view when they got on TNT or TNN for their TV show. So this is they actually had TV shows to build their
Yeah.
storylines here, and yeah, it was a little chaotic.
Yeah, so I guess Anarchy Rulz was technically, I guess they were billing it as like there were no rules, like there were no management. This was all just kind of you know, no, just sit to your pants, I guess, was what's what happened during this show, because this was nuts. So we this was our first ever pay-per-view. Rest of them were kind of like special events, but this was the first one, like, was the first, yeah, after you said, like, the first one after being on TV, and the first one that's kind of like, so we're gonna get into this thing. We started the show off with Lance Storm versus Jerry Lynn. This was a very, very fun match. These two went out there and stole the show right off the gate. They did a lot of crazy shit. Lance Storm, because it's ECW, just kind of kicked Jerry Lynn right in the nuts at one point during this match. Referee can't do anything about it. Jerry Lynn got retaliation by throwing Storm into the air and then hitting him in the nuts as well. A lot of cool stuff. Lance Storm or Jerry Lynn did a couple dives. There was a lot of counters, flipping into pins, and a lot of near falls. The ending was very, very weird. Kind of came out of nowhere. Lance Storm just kind of rolled Jerry Lynn up and got the win, which was
Yeah, there was some extreme stuff in this match too. Like there was a DDT on a chair that was pretty nasty. Jerry Lynn had his ribs taped. And
yeah,
whenever I don't know, for me, whenever I think of Jerry Lynn, for some reason I see his ribs taped.
yeah, me too.
And this apparently was the first time he did it, so I guess it was on TV a lot. So maybe that's why
Yeah. I
think
guess he
that.
got attacked by Just Incredible and Dwayne Storm on TV before this match, which is why his ribs were taped. But yeah, Don Marie. If you watch this show, just fair warning for the crowd, because this was 1999 and it was ECW. A lot of these chants would not fly today. But yeah, just there were a lot of derogatory chants towards Don Marie and Lance Storm, especially. Just throwing that out there. Lance Storm, yeah, like I said, did win. This match went a little over 16 minutes. Really good way to kick off the show. And then we get into a little confusion. So Simon Diamond comes out and he's talking about he was supposed to have a tag team match later on, and then he calls out some dude named Tom Marquez, who was, I guess, a graduate of the ECW House of Hardcore. He's going to get in the ring, and then Simon says, "No, you didn't listen. I didn't say Simon says." Then Jazz comes out, and Jazz says she's trying to make an impact, is trying to make a moment, and Simon Diamond again says, "You didn't say Simon says." But then Simon Diamond calls Tom Marquez into the ring, and this time he did say Simon says.
Jesus Christ. You
Jack,
know, ECW, you think of like hardcore cussing and stuff, and then you have this.
yeah. Uh, Jazz, I guess technically beats Tom Marquez because Simon Diamond beats her up. Chris Chetty and Nova come out. This becomes a big brawl. Chris Chetty injures his knee in about 3 seconds. He did like one move, and he injured his knee. So then that match was not listed. It was just a random match. So then we fall into a tag team match. Just like this, and it's not like there was an announcement. It was just this match happened with Jazz and Tom Marquez. Tony DeVito and Simon Diamond end up beating her up. Chetty and Nova come out. We just transitioned automatically into a supposed tag team match out of nowhere. Chris Chetty's injured the whole time, so he doesn't even get in the ring. This match turns into a no contest when Danny Doring and Roadkill come out and beat everybody up, and then other people that I had no idea who any of them were. The only one I recognized was Big Vito, who wasn't going by that now, but Vito came out. There was just a bunch of people, and this was just a big brawl. What was this? This was just ridiculous. I feel like some stuff had to happen because Chetty got injured, I assume, but this was just chaotic. I don't.
Yeah, I I don't know, man. Like it's. I didn't even know. Honestly, I gotta lie to you, Ron. I didn't know Simon Diamond was around this long. I thought he was like just in like the 2000s.
Yeah, Simon Diamond was, I guess this was his, he started in 1998. So, I don't know. I guess he's been there. Yeah, I didn't realize he was there for that long either. And I was never, like, growing up, I remember Simon Diamond, but now looking back on it, man, he was not very good.
Yeah,
Like, he could talk, but his gimmick was dumb. And then he wasn't really good in the ring. Like, he did some good moves, but yeah, this
but
was just dumb.
but yeah, the match itself was stupid. It's only like 50 seconds long. Like,
Yeah. So Jazz and Tom Marquez officially went 58 seconds, and then that tag team match went 3 minutes, I guess, technically. But like Nova did a dive, and then they all just beat each other up for a while. Like I said, Chris Chetty was injured the whole time, and then Doring and Roadkill got involved, and then it was just a bunch of people that I did not recognize were in the ring.
right.
Tony DeVito had a really bad fuck up. He tried to pick up Nova and kind of just dropped him, and the crowd just completely booed him out of the building. Like it was, and then immediately they ended. I think Paul Heyman was like, "Yep, we're done. Get them out." Paul Heyman was like, "Send in Doring and Roadkill. We're killing this match right now."
Yeah.
But then we transitioned to one of my favorite matches. This match ruled. A three-way dance between Yoshihiro Tajiri, Super Crazy, and Little Guido. This was freaking amazing. This was my favorite match of the night. This match, awesome.
Yeah, they went nuts. And it was only what's crazy is it was only 14 minutes long, but it felt like it was way longer because of how crazy it was.
Yeah, it felt like this match was like 20 minutes. Tajiri did a dive into the crowd at one point. Super Crazy did a dive into the crowd. Tajiri and Crazy and Guido, like if you think of ECW three-way dances, this is like the three you think of. These guys did this match probably 100 times. But they reinvented it every time. The first elimination was Little Guido. Super Crazy eliminated him with a moonsault. So then it was that was about 9 minutes in. So then we had about a good, about 5 minutes there of just Tajiri and Crazy, and I could have watched them wrestle for another 20.
Yeah.
Those two awesome together. Tajiri ended up winning with a buzzsaw kick, and then he hit a running drop kick and then a brain buster. And Tajiri gets the win, but they did so many crazy freaking. There was a spot where Tajiri did a monkey flip and Crazy landed on his feet and immediately got clotheslined by Guido. Like the chemistry these three had was crazy. The shit they did. But this is probably my favorite match of the whole show. This match should have went like 25 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Next up was Just Incredible coming out, and basically he came out and talked for a while, and he said that Sabu is not there. Uh, and he had a big like speech, and he had something wrote out saying that there was a clause in the contract, and the referee. But then the referee said, "You know what? This is Anarchy Rulz, and there are no rules. There's no judgment here. There's no lawsuit. You can't, whatever the cops say or whatever doesn't apply, I guess." So, Sabu came out, and then these two beat the shit out of each other for 14 minutes. I mean, chairs, tables, freaking kendo sticks, whatever. Both men were bleeding. I mean, this was just brutal. This was ECW.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know Just Incredible like did this kind of hardcore stuff in ECW.
Yeah. I didn't realize that either. Yeah, he was bleeding. He ended up winning with a "That's Incredible," which is just a tombstone pile driver. But he hit it on a steel chair to get the win. But Jason was there, and Bill Alfonso both got involved. They tried to go through a table a couple times. Like Sabu dove and it didn't break, and so he tried it again and it didn't break again. But that was ECW, man. They tried to put people through tables, regardless of if it was going to break or not. They were real tables in ECW.
Yeah, and this was it was a Sabu match, so it was pretty sloppy.
Yeah, yeah,
but,
they messed up.
but you knew what you were getting into with Sabu, so
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Just Incredible won. This one went 14 minutes, and pretty good. I'm not a big fan of Sabu matches, but like, you know, Just Incredible. I don't know. Just Incredible's one of those guys where it's like he was good, but he wasn't really one of my favorites. So this match was kind of just like whatever. Then we had what was scheduled to be Masato Tanaka versus Taz for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. But then Mike Awesome was in the crowd, and Taz basically was like, "Bring him in." And Paul Heyman was like, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's make it three-way dance." Mike Awesome was not even advertised to be here. So he just showed up. I guess the storyline reason was Masato Tanaka had beat Mike Awesome, and so in promotional packages for this match, they were advertising that, which pissed off Mike Awesome, which brought him out. Taz, this was right before he went to WWE. And so the crowd was booing him, saying, "You sold out." I guess back then they kind of knew. This was his final match, I think, in ECW, until he came back to beat Mike Awesome when they were both under contract to different companies, which was crazy. But I'm pretty sure this was one of Taz's last matches. And he was eliminated very early on, like 2 minutes in. What the
yeah, you can tell they were just like, adios. You're going to do it. We're gonna beat you real quick, even though you were one of our most dominant champions ever.
Yeah, he got hit by a roaring elbow and then a splash in 2 minutes to eliminate him. So then it was just Tanaka and Awesome, and they beat the crap out of each other. Awesome was, no pun intended, but Mike Awesome really was awesome. Dude, for his size, for him to be able to do the shit he did, god damn, he was great. Like,
Yeah,
him able to jump over the ropes and to do freaking splashes and his power bombs and shit. But yeah, Mike Awesome wins this match by hitting an awesome bomb onto Tanaka in 13 minutes. And so Mike Awesome wins the world title without even being advertised to be on the show.
that's insane.
And at the end, like the whole roster came out to like watch this. They're like all on the stage and like cheering on Taz, and then like Taz, and they're all kind of like giving Taz his standing ovation. He got in the ring afterwards, and then he kind of handed the title over to Taz to Awesome, and then he got his standing ovation, and then that was it. So I guess this was Taz's last little hoorah here. Interesting way to beat your. And I know you got to have him lose, but that was very. Did not expect him to lose in 2 minutes. So then we had a tag team match for the ECW World Tag Team titles. Tommy Dreamer and Raven defeated Rhino and Steve Corino. But before this, Raven's on a playground. He had a promo about how him and Dreamer's whole history and all this stuff. And wow, if you don't know that history, I'm not getting into it because apparently they were friends in high school and Raven stole Tommy Dreamer's girlfriend or whatever. I don't know. But so then Tommy Dreamer comes out in just a shirt and pants. And was he injured?
Because he's Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah. Was he injured? Like, I guess that's what they were talking. He comes out and he talks about he was in Chicago and he just watched Sammy Sosa hit his 60th home run. And Cyrus had the greatest line where he goes, "Who the hell cares?" And I was in agreement. I'm like, why the fuck are we talking about Sammy Sosa?
Yeah.
He said that he could, but then he said, Sosa plays for the fans, and Tommy wants to do the same. And he says, "I'm not listening to doctors. I don't need pyro." And Corino comes out, and I love Steve Corino. Corino comes out and says, "Hey, if you want to bleed, we'll give you your wish." Rhino and Tommy Rich, or is that his name?
Yeah.
Victory. Sorry, Jack Victory.
Oh, Jack Victory.
Jack Victory gets in the ring and they beat him up. And then Raven comes out and they win in like 3 minutes. Like,
yeah, what the hell?
It was so weird. Like, Rhino's in. It's Rhino and Steve Corino. Like, you would think, like, this would be a huge thing, a big match. And they did a lot of moves in 3 minutes. But Raven came out late. He hit Rhino with the even flow. Corino and Victory battled with Tommy and Raven for a while. Raven and Tommy got whipped into each other. They argue, but they both hit DDTs, and then they win. And the referee counted, even though he counted both men. And this was that ECW thing where Raven, like, he counted both men. None of them, I don't know who was legal. I don't know what the rules were. I had no idea. This was weird. It was 3 minutes. I guess Dreamer was injured, so I guess that's why they made this match short. But if he's injured, why is he still champion?
Yeah, and why? I don't know, dude. On paper, when we get ready to do this review before we look at the results,
Yeah,
or watched it, on paper this pay-per-view looks like it's gonna have a lot of bangers.
well, yeah, I saw Tommy Dreamer and Raven versus Rhino and Steve Corino, and I was like, holy shit, yeah. And then it was 3 minutes, so interesting. So then we had another person who wasn't supposed to be here come out in the next show. It was supposed to originally be RVD versus Smith. Some dude, Johnny Smith. I'm glad this changed because I don't know who Johnny Smith is, but I'm pretty sure this match would not have been as good. But yeah, Axel Rotten was in the ring and he challenged Mike. Mike Awesome. Storm and the Impact players come out and they said, "It's been a great night for us. We're 2 for 2. And when Johnny Smith beats RVD, it's going to be 3 for 3. Blah, 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 blah. There's a big brawl. Balls Mahoney and Spike Dudley come out. They hit Dawn Marie with the acid drop. And then Axel's like, you know what? Since Johnny Smith, I guess, is knocked out, how about Balls Mahoney challenges RVD for the title? And so I guess fucking Axel Rotten can make matches now. So this was a fun match, though, man. Like, give Balls Mahoney a bunch of credit because apparently he was injured as well. And he fought through the injuries, and this was a great match. Longest match of the night, 19 minutes, 39, almost 20 minutes. Main event for the television title, and that's one thing I really liked about ECW is like the television title and the tag team titles for that were main evented a lot, which I guess you could argue is bad. Like the world title should main event, but I did like that RVD was like the television champion, but he was like main event almost every show. which means he should have won the world title, but
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. But yeah, yeah, this was a great match, and it that was one of those matches where it's like don't judge a book by its cover because
yeah,
you definitely didn't think that Balls Mahoney could go like that, but RVD could lead anybody to a good match. At least back, or really back then he could because he was on top of his game. And yeah, he was TV champion for like 2 fucking years.
yeah.
That's insane. Like it's cool that he had that long reign, but yeah, they definitely should have found a way to get it off of him and let him win the world title because
Yeah, he never actually lost it too because he got injured.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it's really messed up. But yeah, overall, what do you think of this pay per view, Ryan?
so overall, you had 3 really good matches. I think, the 3-way dance between Tajiri, Crazy Guido, Rob Van Dam, and Balls Mahoney, and Lance Storm and Jerry Lynn were the top 3 matches for me. But all of the chaos and like just random opponents and stuff just made it feel like ECW was flying from the seat of their pants and had no plan for this pay-per-view. Like it was like they just threw people out there. So that kind of took me away out of it because I'm like, there was no structure. It felt like everything was just off script, as they mentioned on commentary a bunch, which I didn't like either. But overall, like, you know, despite a couple of the shitty shit, like this was not bad. Like you had 5 good matches, 3 really good matches, and then 2 other ones that were, if it's your style, it was good. But uh I don't remember every ECW pay-per-view being like this, but this is what it was. I kind of see why they went under. Because
Yeah,
too
if they
much too
if they just would have stuck to what they were good at,
yeah.
and that is having they had the hardcore stuff, but they also had the technical wrestling stuff, and you had good wrestlers, you had the hardcore stuff, you could have pretty good long epic main events, and you had the characters that you needed. You had stars in this company, and it's like if they just would have stuck to that, it probably would have been okay. But they always tried to be out of the box and try crazy stuff and stuff that they just shouldn't have done. Just like this, Anarchy Rulz, where where they're mentioning scripts and stuff like that. Like they were always trying to be way too out of the box
Yeah.
sometimes.
And then like I said, like the swerve booking kind of shit where Mike Awesome shows up out of nowhere and wins, and then Balls Mahoney comes out and gets the match, and then Jazz comes out and just wrestle. Like all that was just like, what the fuck? Like it was like, wow. So your pay-per-view did not go off at all like you wanted, and you were just making matches randomly just to make matches, it felt like. So I get it. They're underground, they were hardcore, but man, uh but yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. Like I didn't hate this pay-per-view. I liked watching it. It kind of flew by. It was like a little over 2 hours, but it kind of flew by. Um, and crowd was into it. So yeah, overall, pretty good pay-per-view. I think this was probably the best thing we've watched on this retro review show. So
Yeah, there you go. Bad props there.
I mean, we've watched a bunch of shit so far. So better than 2000 WCW or whatever the fucking
Yeah, that episode of WCW was hard to watch.
yeah. So thank you. I think that's gonna do it. Overall, again, this paper, if you haven't watched it, I would give it a watch, especially the Tajiri Crazy Guido match, and then RVD and Balls were the 2 matches that I would definitely watch if you haven't seen this. Tomorrow on this little pro YouTube channel, we're gonna have our predictions for Forbidden Door. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Next week, we will be having 2 prediction shows because we have Heatwave and Money in the Bank. So take me for that
Yeah.
next week. And Nathan, go ahead and take us home.
Yeah, so if you like this, hit that like button, and if you want to hear more retro reviews, and hopefully there's more good ones coming and not bad shows, although the bad shows are entertaining.
They're fun to talk about for sure.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe so you hear more of these retro reviews, and tickle that notification bells because you always want to know when these things go up. and we'll see you on the next one.
And speaking of that, thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Our subscriber count does keep growing. We appreciate you. Grow this channel by sharing this and like Nathan said, subscribing and liking and all that fun stuff. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow for Forbidden Door predictions.